I knew something was wrong the moment the laughter died in the living room. It wasn't the kind that warms a house. It was sharp, private, almost predatory, and it cut off the second I stepped inside. My wife's sister sat there, legs crossed, eyes hiding something smug. My wife avoided looking at me altogether. The air felt staged, like I had walked into a scene already in progress and I wasn't meant to know my role yet. Then my phone buzzed, a notification, bank alert, the kind of message that doesn't lie, doesn't soften the truth, doesn't give you time to prepare. Balance 0, 0. At first, the numbers didn't register. My mind rejected it, like a body expelling poison before it can settle. But the room began to tilt. My heartbeat wasn't fast, it was heavy, pounding with slow precision, each thud sinking deeper into my ribs. My wife's sister watched me read it, and she smiled. A dry, nasal snort followed. "We needed it more than you." The casual cruelty, the entitlement. That was the moment something inside me stopped thrashing. It went still, utterly still. I reached for my wallet, not because I needed it, but because the gesture grounded me. My hand wasn't shaking. My voice wasn't either when I said, "Then you won't mind what's coming next." They laughed. But underneath their laughter, something else moved. Footsteps outside, a shadow crossing the window, and then a loud, violent bang rattled the walls. The front door flew open, and everything I had been suspecting for weeks finally shifted into place. The truth didn't start here. It never does. It always begins quietly, months earlier, with a whisper disguised as coincidence. My wife's sudden need for privacy, her late-night calls in the hallway, her sister's increasing presence, always hovering, always watching me with a strange mix of pity and superiority. I told myself it was stress, family pressure, anything but betrayal. But doubt is a patient parasite. It burrows, waits, multiplies. And one night, while she showered, her phone lit up with a message she forgot to hide. "Did he believe you?" No name, just implication. My stomach tightened, but I didn't react, didn't ask. Instead, I memorized the number. I memorized the tone of her voice when she came back into the room, too sweet, too rehearsed. I memorized the way she kissed me with a kind of guilt that tasted like resignation. I should have confronted her, but confrontation is for the emotional. I needed clarity, and clarity requires distance, silence, patience. So I waited. I watched, and the pattern became undeniable. I began my investigation the way a surgeon handles a knife, methodical, detached, knowing exactly where to cut. Phone records, shared accounts, deleted messages resurrected through software she didn't know I installed. Every detail built a slow burning fire under my ribs. There were transfers, small at first, then larger, always to the same account, an account linked to her sister. There were calls between them at hours when siblings don't call. Messages discussing timelines, pressure, getting it done before he notices. Not infidelity. No, their betrayal was simpler, colder. They weren't cheating on me. They were using me, bleeding me dry before leaving. Financial murder. And all the while, I remained calm, smiling, eating dinner with them, letting them believe I was still blind. Because I wasn't preparing for a confrontation, I was preparing for a collapse, theirs. The final confirmation arrived 3 days before the reunion, bank statements exposing the entire siphoning scheme, all signed by my wife, all executed by her sister. They had planned to run, without me, with my money. So when the door flew open after the family gathering, I already knew what it meant. My private investigator stepped in, briefcase in hand, expression unreadable. Their laughter died instantly. I took the folder from him and laid it on the coffee table. No words, no theatrics. "Open it," I said softly. My wife's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages, her face drained of color, her sister's confidence fractured. I watched them crumble without blinking. I documented everything, I said, every transfer, every lie, every message. My voice stayed level, measured, unbothered. My wife choked out a plea, half-formed, half-desperate. Her sister remained silent, calculating her escape even now. But I had already sealed every door, I continued, reported the theft, handed copies to legal. My wife sank into the couch. Her sister cursed under her breath. I didn't raise my voice, didn't rage. Revenge delivered in ice hits harder than fire, and they felt every degree of it. I walked to the doorway, the cold night air washing over me. Behind me, their panic rose, chaotic and desperate, but that belonged to them, not me. I wasn't angry anymore. Anger implies attachment. What I felt was cleaner, sharper, a final severing. They stole my money,